All right, let's go ahead and get started. Just want to welcome everybody to our official, first time in 2 years, business meeting for the Tech Club. I'm your outgoing president, Tim Walter. I'll be turning it over to the new board here in a few minutes, but first I just want to thank you. It has been my privilege. COVID made it a challenge, but you know, for all in all, we got through it. We all learned Zoom the hard way. We're going to teach a little Zoom later this year the easy way, hopefully in person. It's been neat to see everybody back together. It's been neat to see the energy this new board has brought. Jenny Elm has been a lifesaver. You don't know how she's kept this club together for the last 2 years. Behind the scenes, she's done 99%. The new board has been exceptional. They put more time into this club in the last month than has been put into it in the last 2 years. Nobody's fault. It's just, it is neat to see. This is going to sound weird, but we've actually gotten some complaints and some discussion that we'll finish out today. And at first it was a little aggravating, to be honest. But you know what? It was nice when I thought through it. At least we're talking again. At least we're having these conversations again. At least we're coming together and working them out. So thank you for that. Thank you for being here. Jenny's going to give us a treasurer report, and then we'll get the new board going.
Okay, do I have to stand or can I sit?
Sit.
Can you hear me? All right, okay.
You should sit for everybody who's they can't see you.
Okay. First, there's not a lot to report because as you know, pandemic really took a toll on our membership. We did not collect dues during the last year. So in 2020, we collected $3,300, and in 2021, $300. So you can see the difference that our treasury has. The expenses in 2020, and I'm reporting on 2020 because we didn't have a meeting then because of the pandemic. So our expenses were $2,500 in 2020. And of course, these are all lab expenses mostly. We had to buy, I think, a computer for the lab. That was a big expense. And then we tried to hold $3,000 for reserve for purchase of equipment. So that was 2020, leaving us a balance of $4,700 with 160 members. Now, during the pandemic, we did get 10 more members. Those would be people probably that moved in or that decided they wanted to be part of it during the pandemic. So we ended this year with 170 members. I think there have been some new ones for 2021 and 22 already signed up, but those are not in this count. Then in 2021, we took in from the members $352, and our expenses were $1,349. So we spent more than we took in. We have a balance right now of $3,439 with 170 members plus. And I would like to note that we were paying $109 a month for years for Comcast for the lab. And during the pandemic, Tim and I decided there must be a better way because we had no income and we had to put out $109 without any other expense. So we contacted Comcast and asked if we could combine the HOA board, who also pays for their internet service here, combine ours with theirs. Well, what the end result was is HOA is paying less and we are paying nothing. So it was a win-win-win. So that was a good thing. So our expenses went down from $1,300 in 2020 for that expense to $600 because it was midway in the year that we did that. So we don't have that expense anymore. So that's a plus. Are there any questions about the finances that I could answer? It's been a pleasure to serve you, and I'm looking forward to this new board. It just sounds exciting. They have lots of good programs planned for all of us.
Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you, Jenny.
Just so you know, Jenny has agreed to stay on through the first of the year as treasurer, give Liz a little travel time. They're working it together. And I have to give a special shout out to Nancy back there. During the pandemic, she agreed to lead the charge with the board to give us an exemption. So we didn't have to have 4 officers and continue going. And she's been a great supporter. Thank you. All right, now, without further ado, I want to introduce your new board. I'm just going to introduce the president and ask for a voice vote of approval. If there's any discussion or nays, we can discuss that. But I can tell you, you're getting an upgrade. Cat is amazing. She's an organizer. She is intelligent. She may not know bits and bytes like Larry does, but man, did she get the job done. She brought us together. She's organized the conversations. She's just been a wonderful leader. So she sure has my full endorsement. And now I ask for a voice vote of the club. Who else agrees? Just say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? With that, I give you your new president who will introduce the rest of the board. Thank you.
Thank you.
I couldn't have done it without the foundation that Jenny and Tim have set and with the fabulous team we have here. So I'd like to introduce Vice President Larry Cohen, our Treasurer Liz Perry, our Secretary Lorena Rodriguez. As of today, we have our new director. The club has 2 directors who are basically in charge of advocating for the club and so forth. Martin Rodriguez. Because this club was kept alive during all the lockdowns and everything, I have a token of appreciation for Jenny.
Oh, thank you.
And for Tim.
Thank you.
For all that they have done. Let's give them a hand. So Tim voted for, led the vote for me. We need to also lead the vote for the rest of that.
Make it official. And
Okay, so officially, all those in favor of Larry, Lorene, and Liz, and Martin, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, we are your new team. We're here to help you. So now Larry is going to give an we have a new board, new bylaws, new charter, lots of new stuff. So Larry, take it away.
Okay, well, basically what we did was try to simplify everything. That's why the voice votes today, rather than all the ballots and all the formalities, we're trying to change everything to make it so that we can do things a little easier, a little less formal. I mean, we'll still do if you read through the documents, and I'll put them up here. I'll start off with let me start off with the bylaws. That's the big one. And what I did on these documents is I highlighted the parts that changed. And the bylaws, there were a lot. So revised bylaws. So I'll put the revised bylaws on the right. Okay, so basically, what we did here was the purpose of the club didn't change. Well, I'm not sure what we did here on this one. We added some stuff to it, it looks like. Basically, we did away with tying us to computers and tying us more to technology. Because we're trying to, and by the name of the club that was changed before we came in, that's what we've been trying to do, is do more technology. So we changed all of the personal computers and all of that stuff over to technology. And by technology, we mean all kinds of technology. We mean television, smart TVs, computers, of course, tablets, the new hearing aids. We're going to be having probably some discussions on that. All of the new technology that's out there, cars, all of the new technology that's in cars. So we're going to have, in fact, we have something scheduled for that early next year to discuss all the new technology in cars. So that's why this part of it was changed, was so we can discuss things like that and have our club be more meaningful than that type of thing. So, so that's what that change was. Then we didn't change a whole lot till we get down to, and this one I think is just let me see what it turns out to be. I think it's just a change in it's just a change in, let's see, in the dues and the dates. It's just the dates. One of the things we are attempting to do as well is we are attempting to line up our fiscal year with the HOA board's fiscal year. That was something that came up previously. And so we're trying to make that move as well to where we'll be in alignment with the HOA board date-wise. So when you sign up, pay your dues for this coming year, it will be through October 1st of next year. And then October 1st of next year will be the start of our new fiscal year. So rather than it being January 1st, it'll move to October 1st. So this is talking about when dues are delinquent, that type of thing. And then the officers, this one, there were some changes, not major, but some changes. Basically what we did was the officers will be, the executive board will consist of a president, vice president, a secretary, a treasurer, an immediate club past president, which is Tim this time, and 2 other directors. They used to be elected from membership, and now we're going to be just asking for volunteers to be those 2 directors, and we have 2 directors right now that have stepped up. And then section B, we changed there. Oh, in there, we took the directors out because the directors will be appointed rather than elected. That was the change in that paragraph. The next paragraph is related to officers. Again, we just took directors out of that one. And we also made it, they used to be 1-year terms and limited to 2 consecutive terms in office in the same position. And so we changed that for a 2-year term and are limited to 2 consecutive terms in office. So that if we have somebody good, they can serve a little longer. And I know the previous, not just this past board, but the board before, tended to have people that just shifted positions because they were the only people that would step up and do it. And so they to keep the club going, that's how they worked around the bylaws. This way, it works out a little bit. They have up to 4 years instead of just 2.
There, in section C, I think we need to say the first day of October and then the last.
Oh,
day of
yeah,
December.
well, I'll make that change.
Okay.
I'll make that change. So, okay.
There's a lot of details.
I like that in a different color. So I know I need to change. Okay, and then the responsibilities of the officers and club executive board shall be as follows. And we'll change that and then look like, oh, the E and for executive board, that it was just a typo in that one. Then we added the past president, which we didn't have a past president before. So that was that change. We added past president to that. And then we went down here to providing maintaining a roster of, this is for club treasurer, shall maintain a roster of the members, which we didn't have that in there before. And then we just reworded the shall furnish the association with such reports as called for, and shall report to the membership on financial conditions of the club and that type of thing. The treasurer will ensure the club archives are up to date and will pass it on to her successor. So that was a change in that one. Then we added the director position. I don't know why there wasn't a description of their position, but there wasn't one. Okay. This is the longest document we're going to be going through. Let's see. Okay. We changed the month for the club, for the business meeting of the club is in October rather than in December. And we took the directors out of that one. And then the directions on how to, we took out a lot of the 45 days prior to election and a lot of the other stuff that's in there. And you can read through all of this, and it's all been posted online as well, so you can get it all from there. But basically it's saying if somebody like today wanted to run for the board and hadn't been nominated, then they could be nominated today. And that was one step we missed today and probably should have handled. But all that's saying is if there's a volunteer that wants to step up to be on the board as an officer, they could have been nominated this morning for that. There was a long process for that in the old bylaws. And so we kind
I
of
can
work.
just add that Tim did put out a notice that if anyone is interested in submitting their name for nomination, and no one stepped up, so
Several.
Yeah,
several of us.
yeah, Tim asked a lot.
Yeah.
Bad.
Okay, and then, and as you can see, we changed it from the printed ballots and all of that. On the right-hand side, it's by voice vote, roll call may be used if there's a doubt. So if a voice vote can't determine, then we would actually do a roll call vote, just to clarify if necessary. And then it goes on to say that they'll accept nominations from the floor, but the person needs to verbally approve of it. So it's just if a person gets nominated from the floor, they have to accept the nomination. And then election shall be decided by a majority vote of the total of those members voting in person. We did away with you can vote via Zoom. You don't actually have to be in person. You can say aye on Zoom as well. Yeah, we did away with the ballot side of it because that was very cumbersome. So that's what this on the left is any member cannot attend. That we did away with except Zoom. An annual business meeting, that's a change of date on the annual business meeting. That's all that changed in that one from December to October. And then this goes through all of the steps that we've kind of done away with as far as the ballots and all of that. And we have been posting things on the webpage and in emails and in newsletters to make sure everybody's aware of what's going on. And we kind of did away with the Robert's Rules of Order. We'll still use those to a point, but in more of an informal type way, rather than all the formal stuff. We still want 1/10 of members in good standing for a quorum. That stayed the same. So, and then if there's anything, any other issues that come up like we're discussing here, if any other issues come up, we'll be voting on accepting these different documents. So if there's any issues there, we'll discuss all of those and then make whatever changes the membership decides on. And in this one on the left, we did away with the written proxy and absentee ballots and all of that part of it. I think here. Yeah, we just did away with item number 4, Robert's Rules of Order shall govern the proceedings of all club executive board meetings. We do, like I say, we do still tend to follow those. We just aren't following them explicitly. The next item is annual dues. It just discusses the annual dues and be recommended by the club executive board to a business meeting of the membership at the October business meeting instead of the December business meeting. And then it'll need to be approved. And then all other fees, this goes into the one on the left, the old one goes into a big long spiel on all the other fees. And we we didn't really get into that. The other fees will be the same as the dues and everything else. It'll all go through the whole process. And the club executive board must authorize all expenditures of club funds, including those approved in the budget. So they have to be approved a second time before we can actually spend it. And that way we will stay away from the idea that we need to terminate services. So we kind of just cleaned that one up. And then this next one, section C, and the old one said, executive board must authorize all expenditures. No expenditure greater than $1,000 shall be made without specific approval of the membership. And sure what we did with that. We just took 1,000 out. Financial records will be reviewed. That's okay. Section. If you look C in the new one and D in the old one are the same. Then you go to E. Financial records should be reviewed on an annual basis by one or more individuals other than the elect to the club executive board. We just put in there, financial records will be available for review on an annual basis by the HOA manager or their appointed representatives. So that a third party will be looking at our finances. The next one is just changing our fiscal year. Used to be January through December, it'll be October through September now. I think that's the end of this document. Yeah, that's the end of that document. So that's the bylaws. That's, like I say, that's the longest document we'll be going over. So that, this is the new one over here on this side. So I'll bring up the next one.
You want to vote on that?
So we can do that. We can vote on each one individually. Go ahead.
Now that you've seen the bylaws, is there any discussion, anything you'd like to say about that? I move that we vote to accept the new bylaws.
I'd just like to mention, these guys worked for hours on this, and it was not a unilateral type document. It was well discussed, and it was meant to simplify it and give the club some flexibility. I think Larry did an exceptional job drafting it. He was a Thomas Jefferson, but believe me, there was a Constitution. And I'm very proud of what they put.
I think that you need to accept it with the changes made today, in today's meeting.
With the one change for the October for the dates. Yeah. So I move that we accept the bylaws. Do we have a second? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? We now accept the revised bylaws for the tech hub.
Okay, now we'll go over a shorter document, the charter. So I can make those changes. Okay. Again, Again, the new one is on the right, the old one is on the left. We didn't change anything in the club purpose, that stayed the same. Membership requirements and dues, we did make a change there. The membership is open to everyone, the same as, nothing really changed there except the dates of October through September. And the, let's see what else changed in there.
Dues.
Dues are no there. Don't show in the new one where we actually put a number in there.
Because by the bylaws, we vote on them today. So every year they will.
Right, okay, so, well, that, right,
They aren't
that's,
set in stone.
they aren't set, yeah, they aren't set in the charter. They'll be set annually. That way we can change them as necessary without having to go in and change the charter to do that. That was part of the flexibility that we wanted to build into this. So that we took the annual dues part out, but they are still due, but they're due October, for the year October through September. So that's kind of what we're doing there. The technology club also used to meet on the third Wednesday due to the HOA board wanting to move their date. We moved ours, we agreed to that, so we took the second Wednesday of the month. So that was the change in that one. That's all that's changed in that one. Contact person has changed, it's no longer Tom Howland, which he's probably happy for since he's got so many other things he's doing. And then the computer lab, what we did with the computer lab was we made it more flexible. We took out that we will have so many computers of this type, so many printers, so many scanners. We took all of that out and said we would maintain an up-to-date lab with up-to-date computers, maintained for the members, and all of the high-speed internet and all of that stuff. But we took out the specifics because depending on the usage, we may not need 7 Windows computers anymore. So we were looking at that, or the number of printers may change, just things may change. And this just allows us to be a little more flexible on that. You know, at one point, we may need to increase the number of computers. And then the next one on various computer instruction classes and workshops, we made it technology. We took computers out again and made it technology. Let's close on to the next page, I believe. And that's pretty much it there. We just changed that so that we use technology rather than computers. And that's it. That's that document. So it looks like the whole document changed, but it was really just some cleanup in the whole thing. So. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Larry, for doing all that work. We really appreciate that. And that's what I'm saying about the new board. Everybody's really stepping up to do all the things that need to be done. So, yes.
After, since I'm assuming you're gonna vote on approval here for this document
Yes.
too. After the 2 documents are updated and approved by the club, I assume that since you're a charter club, you will submit it to the board.
Correct.
Okay, just an FYI, if you want something on the packet for this month, it has to be in by Friday at 9 AM.
If we get agreement today, we'll have it.
Yeah, I'm just letting you, just remind you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. One comment, should we take Kata out and put current board president, so we aren't, again, we're making it a less.
We can do that.
And 10 years from now.
Yeah, exactly, we won't have to, we're trying to get away from having to rewrite the bylaws every day.
Yeah, so
Let's make it just a little more.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Anything else? Any questions? This just sets the tone for us as a charter to have these things in place. So I move that we accept the new charter, the revised charter. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you. All those in favor of the new revised charter, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, we now accept that, and we will get it to the board, to the HOA by Friday. Thank you. Now I'd like to introduce Liz Perry, our secretary. She's got some more information for you. Treasurer.
You
Yes.
guys hold it for a week or two.
Yeah. That's true. No.
As you probably saw and heard, we're changing our pricing structure with no longer having 2 tiers. It's just going to be one. It's going to be $30 per household up to 2 members. So it's the same price, single or double. And just keep in mind that there was no fees collected last year. And this is the first increase in 17 years. So and the biggest increase is, Larry was telling us, with new technology, the biggest thing with cost-wise is the price of toner. The manufacturers of these machines have gotten very proprietary, so they've put the generic guys out of business. You can no longer go to Costco or Office Max and get your refills done for your printers because they have this little thing called an RFID. Is it a magnetic thing, Larry? A little tag that it won't allow you to put your generic things in there. So with that, the price of these toners they've skyrocketed because they're the only game in town. So HP only has HP, Brother only has Brother. So with the cost of everything going up, that's going up too. And we also have pieces of equipment in there that are needing to be replaced. And Tim has been kind enough to loan us his printer because one of our other printers is broke. So we have to replace a printer. And Larry's looking to buy an all-in-one that will include a fax machine. So you will be able to fax outgoing only, no incoming, but you won't have to go to the front desk and pay $1. You can do your faxing in the lab. Let's see if I'm forgetting anything else. Please do not share the club Wi-Fi passwords with anyone that is not a member. If somebody is sitting in there next to you, I've had this happen to me. I forget the password, what is it? And you don't want to be rude because you don't know if they're really a member. Just say, oh, you can get that at the front desk. Also, if you are a club member of the technology club, but you're also a member of the gardening club or the veterans club, your club that you used to make copies for needs to purchase their own membership with the club, which is a $50 fee. And that will pay for all the copies that are being made. And they don't have to go to the front desk and pay 10 cents a copy either. But please just keep your copying to your own personal use. And if you are a tech club member and you're also a member of an official sunflower committee, such as I'm on the welcome committee, if I want to make copies, I will give that to the front desk girl and they will make copies for me because the HOA pays for those copies. Okay, let's see, that's about it. Anyone have any questions about the new fees?
New passwords.
The new passwords will be available December 1st, and they will not be given to you if you have not paid your new dues.
At noon.
At noon on the 1st. Thank you. Any questions about fees, dues? Yes, Pat.
Yeah. What's the current dues and when did we go up?
The current dues for starting now,
Yeah,
it will be $30 per household for up to 2 people.
why don't we change it?
As I said, the cost of operating has gone up. the cost of paper, the cost of toner, and the need to replace equipment. We need to purchase a new printer and a new fax machine, an additional fax machine, and they're gonna have to pay to have a phone line installed in there. So that's the reason for and we lost a year of dues. We had no income coming in because of COVID.
Why does a single person have to pay the same amount as a double household?
Well, good question. This has come up before. We don't want to be the tech club police. We don't want to go in there and say, do you have a password? Because apparently spouses were sharing their Wi-Fi password with their spouse who was not a member. They didn't want to pay the additional $10 to upgrade their thing. And we don't want to go in there and say, are you a member? Are you a member? And also, we all pay HOA dues, right? And it's by lot number. They don't care if you're a single or a double. We all pay the same.
But
And
I can only one person, I can only use one computer at a time.
yeah.
Household can use two
Yeah.
computers at a time.
And we found that the two-person households were not using two computers at a time. It was very, very rare that two people of the same family were in there at the same time.
Oh, yeah, they come in there. I use a computer room all the time.
Yeah,
So I see who comes in there.
yeah.
And there are couples that come in there all the
Yeah.
time.
Well, we just thought it would be easier just to have one flat fee because we had snowbirds then again asking us, we want to pay less because we're not here all the time. And then people who had a spouse die, we want a refund for the year that I already paid, or my husband divorced me. It's just easier just to have one flat fee for $30 and then it's done.
You know,
And
we've been through this before over the years.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
we shut it down before.
Yeah, like I said, 17 years, no increase. If anybody can get a better internet package for a year for $30 with free internet, free printing, I would like to see the $30 a year internet and printing package. Because I want to sign up for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, I've been here 22 years, so
yeah. Have you been a member of the Tech Club 22 years?
since the beginning.
Okay, so was the fee $25 back then for a single?
I don't remember way back. I knew it was $25. I don't know what it was way back. At the beginning, we probably wasn't very much because we used to meet in just a computer room.
Yeah.
How small we were.
Let me ask if you are against that $5 increase.
If you're against that $5 increase, what services would you have us cut?
It isn't a $5.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. For a single, it's a $5 increase.
Yeah.
Let's get away from the two-person, one-person.
Yeah,
It's a $5 increase to you as a single user.
yeah.
What would you have us give up?
Well, I have to give up.
Yeah, would you not buy toner, not buy paper,
No.
have less systems? What would you have us reduce? Because we're already in a starvation budget because of last year. So what service, if you don't want to increase the rate, what service would you have us?
Well, I didn't pay my dues last year. I donated.
I appreciate that. I called everybody that did and told them they could either donate it or we would refund it. But as a policy, we didn't collect. The expenses didn't go down to zero. Or even, yeah, it's $5. We haven't increased dues in 17 years. It's overdue.
Thank you, Kim.
This has been a point of contention for several people. We understand, I'm single, so I understand that I'm paying for the option of having another person, but I don't. But the reality is, as they said, $30 is not very much. We appreciate that. Yes, sir.
All I asked is, when did the club vote on that? They should vote on dues too.
We're going to vote on it right now.
That's
Okay, let's vote on it right now.
Yeah, it's 42 cents a year, a month.
And is there any other questions about this before we go to vote? We're all good? So do you have to make the motion or can I? Okay, I'm putting a motion in front of the club that we raise the dues to $30 per year. We will have another dues due October 1st, because we're going to the fiscal year with the board. May I have a second?
I said,
Thank you, Kata. Okay, everyone who's in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And if you're not in favor, no?
No,
No. So that was one no from Pat. What's your last name, Pat?
it's at least official anyway now.
You got it.
What's your last name, just for the minutes?
My last name,
Yes,
Bronson, Bronson.
thank you.
it's what on the club membership.
Pardon me?
It's what on the club membership.
Oh, yes. Are you all in favor of having a club membership for $50 a year for, say, the gardening club, the finance club, the veteran, not finance, veterans club, et cetera?
We'll just. For any club that uses the lab extensively, if a club doesn't really use it, then
They don't need to purchase, yeah.
I move that we vote.
I move we vote in favor of having a club membership that's separate from a individual membership. Do I have a second for $50 a year? Any seconds, Kata? All in favor, yes?
Yes.
Yes. All in, not in favor? Okay, that passes. Okay. Thank you.
Larry, would you please give us an update on the tech team?
Okay, for most everybody here probably already knows, but two of the tech team members are sitting right here. And I've kind of been, because I'm the vice president now, I've been put in charge of the tech team. So I'm kind of keeping them organized, but they don't need much. They each know what they're doing and they do their part to help, and it's really greatly appreciated.
Tim Walsh.
Thank you, Harry.
Thank you very much for different volunteers. They help with all that. Want to talk about the suggestion binder and.
Okay. I brought these in with me from the computer lab. Just so you all know, they're in the computer lab, in the lab itself. If you need information on how to use any of the computers, printers, any of that, this book is in there. It's in the bottom. It's on the rack on the wall next to the conference room. And it kind of walks you through how we're set up and how to do some of the basic things in there. Also, it's on the computers, so you can actually click on it on the icon on the front screen, and it'll take you there as well. The other thing is we have a book that's in the same place that has suggestions and problems. It's a log book that you can put down any issues that you come across when you're using the lab, anything like that. You can write it down in there. It gets checked at least weekly. We try to do it more often than that if possible. And we did ask for email addresses as well, or some way to contact you, because if there is an issue, the person fixing it may not be able to see the issue and may want to follow up, just ask the question about what happened, what caused you to get there. So, but those are both, they're in the bottom pocket of the racks on the wall in there next to the conference room.
Want to add anything about faxing is only outbound, inbound by appointment?
Well, we're looking at adding fax. And the only reason we were looking at adding fax is there have been several people that have been asked to fax to their doctor, or from one doctor to another doctor. If you get a referral, something like that, and you try to make an appointment. Okay, you make an appointment, but they won't make the appointment for you until they see your referral. And medical professionals will only accept faxes. They don't accept emails. So we were going to set that up. We realized it isn't going to be used a lot, but it is something that's a service that we can provide. We've got to buy a new printer anyway. It will have fax capability. So And there's not a lot of extra cost in that side of it. In the phone line side, I don't think there's gonna be a lot of cost initially. What we're gonna do is share the phone line with the conference room because they almost never use their phone line. So we're gonna share that phone line so we can be on that. The only time they use that phone line is when they have a Zoom meeting in the conference room and people can't get in through Zoom, so they have to call in, which I think they said happens a couple times a year, so. So anyway, that was just another service. Since we're buying a new printer, we thought we could include that, and it's not a lot of expense for the club, and we can go from there on the fax. So I know I've run into it twice in the few years I've been here, so that's what we're gonna do with the fax. The club also just purchased Zoom. And so what we're gonna do is offer Zoom with the club memberships. So if you have a club that buys a membership, they can use our Zoom account. That way they don't have to buy their own Zoom account. And we got in, yesterday was the last day for their 25% off for the pro version of Zoom. And so we went ahead and bought that. So that's what we're using for Zoom. And that will be, like I say, available for club memberships.
Oh, no, I think if you said that, that has to get amended and put in the, when we approve the $50 fee for the club fees, because it was discussed that those were just for printing. Now it's printing and Zoom, which is a big.
Actually, there's a lot of things that are included in that. It's not just the printing, it's the use of the machines, it's basically the use of the lab. And as part of that, we were gonna we just voted on this morning as the group, as the board, to even include this, because we just signed up for it yesterday. So it's something that we thought we would provide. And I don't think it needs to be, everything we provide to a membership doesn't need to be in the charter and the bylaws, so that we can change it as we need to. The executive board should be changing that as it needs to be changed. And, if there's a lot of expense to it, then yeah, we need to get the membership.
Part of the challenge is when you had zero income, it was very hard to, or $300 income, it was very hard to develop a budget. This new board will develop a budget for your approval in the next month or two. So you'll see that it's not one thing or another. And that's why I asked, you could lower your dues and vote on it. You already did, but I mean, you can lower it, but we have to cut something. We're trying to give a modern day, flexible, upgrading with as technology. We don't have any dot matrix printers. It changes. It will change next year. Next year it won't be Zoom, it'll be something else. But they will bring you a budget. We just couldn't create one in the environment last year. We will get back on track.
Okay. Any other questions?
Okay, then I guess that it would be a really nice thing to send out to all the clubs or the club presidents, and like an advertisement saying.
They already have, and there's been no pushback.
Oh, I'm not pushing
No,
back.
no,
I'm not
I'm
arguing
saying.
it. I don't have a problem with it, but I'm saying, I'll tell you, I didn't know you had Zoom and my eyes open, wide open to say, oh, wow.
Yeah,
we'll go for that now.
That's why we added it. We thought it would be a good benefit. And
Yeah.
we needed to buy Zoom for our club because we've been riding on Tim's.
Oh,
So,
my gosh,
the club bought their own now.
yeah.
And so we thought if we have to buy it anyway, why not offer it as a benefit to the clubs? And this all happened yesterday and this morning. So it's all new.
It's called transition. Not always easy.
Technology is.
Okay, but I mean, that's brand new and that's a fabulous selling point. If you send that out to all the clubs.
Right.
Just because, we
Somebody has their
know,
hand up.
now I in genealogy know about it, but it's a perfect selling point.
Yeah, and I already sent you the communicator, but now I'm gonna go home and revise it. So we can add that. This is just all very sudden. That's why I want that flexibility. There's a question on Zoom.
Oh, yes. Is the Zoom available for everybody or just for clubs?
Right, because this is so sudden, we are just exploring what the options are. One concern is that if we make it available to all members, then we need to have someone keep track of who's using it when, so that they don't double book. And like I said, this just came up, so if you have ideas on how to keep track of that, that's something the board could consider. Anything else? So.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Liz. We are expanding our benefits, but when you think of your own benefits for the household, that's why the name was changed from the computer club to technology, because you have this whole gamut of technology available in the lab. You also have monthly tech talks on different topics. In December, we had someone coming from Watermark University to talk about different apps you can use to kind of go back in history and see videos and other ways to kind of see what happened maybe the year you were born, or what was happening in this time or that time. And then in January, we're going to have a Zoom talk to learn how to use Zoom as a participant or a leader or a facilitator for a meeting. In February, Liz's husband has agreed to talk about his Tesla car and all the technology related to that. We're still deciding on March, and then in April, we have a chiropractor coming to talk about different technology in his therapy, for example, low-level laser light therapy and other things. So we have tech talks, and anything that you are interested in, if you let us know, we'll try to find someone for March, because all the other slots are pretty much taken. Then we're off for the summer, and then starting again next fall. The other benefit that you have is every first and third Sunday of the month, at 2 o'clock, from 2 to 3, we have volunteers who are able to help you with your different devices, even how to use certain things in the tech lab. And we have 3 students from the Marana High School Honor Society who have come, as they have in the past, to help this generation of people help them with whatever help they need. We can call them digital natives, because it seems like the young people just automatically seem to know how to use technology from age 2 on. And this particular group of young ladies has offered on Sunday to make little videos on topics, like maybe a 5-minute video on certain topics. I suggested maybe one would be how to keep track of your passwords. And if you have other topics that you want them to do this for, then let us know. You can always contact us in the Tech Club email, which is listed in the newsletter that you're beginning once a month. Let's see what else. In addition to the people on the board, Winky Fallon has been very dedicated to helping out on some of these, and I'll be there whenever I can, the rest of us when we can. We also appreciate if you have a certain expertise, or maybe you're sitting around, oh, it's Sunday afternoon, I think I'll go to the Sunday help. Come and help us, because you may know something that someone else doesn't know and need help with. So we also invite you, this is an interactive club, we invite you to participate as well. So on the website, we have a lot of information. So we're going to give you a little tour of that. But all the work that Larry has put into the website.
There's our website for here. Then you get to our website, go to resident information. You go to resident information, clubs, groups, click on that, and it brings you to this page. And then we're over here under the T's for Technology Club, and it takes you to our webpage. Then our webpage, the first page that comes up, I try to, well, of course, our description, purpose, and membership, that'll all stay the same. But then below that, I put in any new things that are going on, and there's a lot of new stuff on this page today. That's been up there probably for a week or so now. So we're going to be continually updating this as pictures become available, as people want to post other things, newsletters up there. The agenda for today was up there. The charter, the new charter and bylaws were up there, as well as the old. And I'm going to leave this up there most of the time, basically this part about input from members, because we're always looking for input from members. If you go to the bottom of this page, down here at the bottom, it says send comments to webmaster. That will come to me. So that if you have any comments, corrections, things that need to be added, anything like that, you can get a hold of me through there, and I can make whatever changes need to be made. If you see typos, because I'm not a really good typist, so I count on spell check a lot. So then from there, you go to organization. These are pictures that haven't been updated. They will be updated after today. So we will have that. And then down here, these charters and bylaws will be updated. Links to our new ones. These are the old ones. The member guest policies will stay the same. Then if you go to the meetings page, this will all be updated after today's meeting as well. We have the agenda down here for today's meeting. We have the link for the Zoom link for the meeting. And these are the new proposed charter and bylaws that are now our current ones, and then they will be changed. And the financial reports will start being posted up here as well. So all of that stuff will be showing up on the meetings page. Under activities, this is where we'll be showing all the new stuff going on. We'll be listing the current month things that are going on, like the Club Expo, the help sessions, the club meetings, tells you that when our general meetings and stuff are, and there will also, the calendar will be put up here from now on. That's something I have to put up here. And then if you go to YouTube presentations, on the presentations page, all of these are links to old presentations. They're mainly PowerPoints that were done. And they're still good. Most of them are still accurate. But we also, Tim started this, where we started posting our presentations on YouTube. So you can click on YouTube and it will take you to YouTube, our YouTube page. And it gives presentations, when they were done and what they're about. And then you can just go through those, and it gives you all of that. And we ask that you subscribe, it's free. And if you subscribe, it'll give you a link to get here. And also you can sign up for emails when new ones are posted, that type of thing. So that's the YouTube button. And then under resources, this page hasn't been updated much. These are all still good resources. So I left them all there for now. If anybody has any new resources that they think would help people, let me know. We can get them up here. Anything related to technology that you think helps people or would help people, we can put them up here. And under membership and forms, this is pretty much a whole new page. What we did here was we made it so that you have the information flyer for the regular membership. The club bylaws got put up here. I'm not quite sure why that link got put there. I'll have to fix that. But you need to complete a membership form. You can click on that, or you can go down here and click on a membership form down below as well. And then it kind of explains the club membership, and you can get that down here as well, under club membership.
Then you can pay on PayPal.
And then you can pay on PayPal, and the trick with PayPal is you do not have to have a PayPal account to use PayPal. That is an option. The other option is you could just use a credit card on PayPal. They take the same cut either way. But if you don't have a PayPal account, you can use your credit card. And the front desk only takes checks now. They don't take cash. So just so everybody's aware of that. And this has both membership levels. It has the membership at $30, and it has the club membership at $50. So that's pretty much what's on our webpage. And like I say, it will be I'm going to make the effort to at least monthly, if not more often, as things become available, I'll try to get them up here. But at least once a month, these pages will be updated. So you won't have to worry about, oh, well, I'm not going to go there because it's the same as it's been for the last 6 months. So I'm trying to keep these up to date. Once I get them all up to date, it won't take much to maintain. So that's kind of why I committed to that. So that's our webpage and how you get around and how you get to it. So are there any questions?
Thanks for doing
Just
all
thanks,
that.
that's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. That is.
Once again, we thank Larry. He's on top of it all. I would like to add one more thing about the club. And the benefit is that we're looking at reviving a tech expo, like there was one done several years ago. So we have a date set for March 5. That's a Saturday in the afternoon from 2 to 4, where just kind of like the club expo, some of you attended. We want to have vendors that have to do with technology, but we need to know who they are. So if you have any suggestions of who we can invite, we're going to ask the vendors to pay $50 a table, because this will also help their potentially getting customers, or if they're a nonprofit, will ask $35. And all those proceeds, of course, will go into the treasury for the club. So I thought of like hearing aids, what else?
My phone and I can't get up type stuff.
Okay, yes, first alert kind of things, yeah.
The phones that actually transfer to, so you can read what the people are saying.
Or someone can't hear the songs. Anything else I can think of just offhand? I mean, send us an email.
So you're the genealogy expert. Are there companies that specialize in those things that, you know, you would recommend that could make a presentation? Because I know a lot of people are interested in that type of thing.
But look, I'll think about it, Liz.
Okay.
See, right now, the only slot we have for Tech Talk is in March, at our second Wednesday meeting. Did you have another idea?
Yeah, don't forget the low vision. Yeah.
Low vision.
Paired technology, some of it's low tech, but it's very applicable for our community.
Yes.
Good
So
idea.
if you know of any specific local vendors that would help, if they're national, they're not gonna come here for Tech Expo. So if you can send any contact information to us or anything related to technology. at all.
Security companies for your home.
Security, okay. And our secretary's writing these down. Anything else you can think of? Okay, well, thank you very much for coming and staying for this long meeting. Yes.
Before you close, would you just give us a quick update? I was unfortunately not here Saturday with the club presentation.
Okay, well, the Club Expo, how many went to the Club Expo? Okay, there were several of you. And we are one of many clubs, and we had a PowerPoint presentation explaining all the benefits. We had several people take applications. Of course, we were also in the unfortunate situation that there was another event It took so much of the parking lot. I even asked Monica at the Activities Club if she thinks maybe we didn't get quite the turnout we would have had if there were more parking spots, but I would say overall it was pretty good turnout there. A few faces here that were added, there were new members because of the Club Expo.
And the PowerPoint is online.
Okay, that's under the presentation on YouTube. So any other questions or comments? Yes,
Dues, tell the people how they can pay their dues, all the different methods.
okay. First of all, you need an application, a membership application for household or club. Those are available online, as Larry pointed out, on the website under membership. Then, if you're paying by PayPal, you can actually pay with a credit card for household or club membership. The other option is to get an application, another application from the front desk, fill that out and turn in a check for your membership, and that will bring you up to date. You will need to have your membership paid by December 1 if you want to get the new passwords, because on that day at noon, all the passwords on the computers and the Wi-Fi will change. So if you've been a member and you haven't renewed, you won't have access.
I was just gonna say, and Larry put a fillable member application on the website that you can click on it, fill it in, and you can either print it in the lab or you can email it directly to me. So that was not available anymore. It does have a fillable, and I suggest you use those because then I can read your handwriting.
Was in another addition.
Machines 1 and 2 have access in there. You want to use PayPal.
Machines,
The only one that have a login, new members,
System 1 or Computer 1 and 2
1 and 2.
have access to PayPal directly. And of course, you can go on the website then and fill out the fillable form.
Well, actually, what it does, those now are linked to our webpage.
Okay, they're linked to the webpage, so you don't have to go
You don't have
to the
go anywhere.
computer lab to do that.
But you can do it, lab 1 and 2 have icons on. Systems 1 and 2 have icons on screen when you start. You can sign in if you aren't a member. For people who aren't members, you can sign in. And on that screen, when it comes up, there is a link, and that link will take you to our webpage to sign in. And to sign up and pay by PayPal and all of that. Those links are there. So what it does now is it takes you to our webpage rather than the way it used to work. So, so that was a change we made. So that way you can fill out the form online and then print it out. You can fill out the form online and email it. You can just print the form, fill it out by pen, turn it in at the front desk, or ask the front desk for it. Either way, we've given you a lot of different ways to do that. So, yeah, just if you know somebody who wants to be a member, that's the way to become a member.
Thank you. Anything else? Thank you very much for coming. Please help yourself to muffins or cookies. Lorraine and Liz provided them, and we appreciate that. What's your name? Nice to meet you. Sure.
Well, Liz is a queen of the card. Or is Jenny still, Jenny County, because they haven't changed it yet, because of this trip. But I have to order to it.
Oh, yeah.
Who do I go to?
Yeah.
Connie has, just like I did, she has the number. So she can order. Anytime you get that request for period of order, call me, and I'll walk you through it. It's very easy.